Hey everybody, so this is going to be a short video on how to do a particular SHACO Q trick in the top blue side of the map and the bottom red side of the map. So I got a request about this, and first I want to make sure that I say I'm not the best at this trick. I learned this trick roughly 3 days ago, and I have incorporated a bit of practice onto it. You see me do some practice onto my stream, or when I was practicing it on stream. So the trick effectively lets you float or queue over this wall at a particular frame angle. So, and by the way, I really like the new practice tool. It's pretty cool. Instantly moves to target location. Woohoo! So if you guys know about SHACO in general, and you have, let's say level 1 queue, top ganks are pretty hard to do. So let's say when the enemy team is blue side, or you typically only use this trick on bottom side if you're blue side, and you use this trick if you're top side red team. So let's say the enemy team's top laner is here, right? Your standard play before, or my standard play before, was to walk over here, queue over, and then go for this, right? But here's how far you get when you use the standard method to just queue out and walk as far as you can. And plus, obviously, if you have level 1 queue, you don't have Mobo boots yet. So, I could get rid of these, but you get the point. But what the trick is, it's an actual frame trick where, for example, you're going to be trying floating over this wall. So when you float over this wall, you get way deeper into the lane. This changes a little bit. So what you want to do here is you want to be clearly as close to the edge of the bush without being revealed, because if you walk in a lane and queue, they'll obviously see you. But you can pretty much get on this ledge. So there's this rock under, this set of rock under the bigger rock, and that's typically what you're aiming to queue for, right? So if I do this, I get a little bit above it. I'm not perfectly versed in this trick, but the way I found that was pretty consistent to do it was to try and queue in this little crevice here on top of these flowers, and then you get literally right on top of the rock, or on top of these flowers, whatever you want to say. So if we compare how far we can get with queuing from here, obviously having Mobius, is pretty unrealistic at this point in the game, but you get the point. You typically get around over here, but by picking the correct frame and queuing on top of these flowers over here, you're going to get so much deeper in your lane, potentially even boxing here, right? And that's just level 1 queue. Imagine if you have level 5 queue. If you needed like level 4 queue to get from here, queue over here, and then put a box over here, maybe you need level 2, level 3 queue, or level 4 or level 5 queue without Mobies. But with this particular trick, you're just going to be launching yourself. Well, I didn't do it that time, but you're going to be launching yourself way in, and your level 1, level 2 queue is almost as effective as a level 4 or level 5 queue. So let me show it to you without Mobies and see how the difference is. I'm taking very special care to not level Q. By the way, I really like this tool. It's kind of meme-worthy. So we're here, and we're going to do the standard walk, right? And we literally get over here to where, we're trying to teleport to, roughly, if these minions weren't in the way. But by doing the correct Q, look, we literally get, with level 1 Q, straight into lane. We can put boxes if they choose to hug top to try and wrap around us. We just have such a good angle. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're as close to the edge of the bush without wasting too much time adjusting your position. And you either want to be queuing on top of this rock, typically towards the lower end of this rock where the flowers start. So you see like this tiny little flower formation, these 3 flowers, these 5 flowers here. You typically want to be queuing right on top of that. And now this changes with frame of reference, of course, right? Like let's say my camera's like this. Am I still queuing on top of the flowers? Sure, but it's a little harder to do. And lastly, it's going to be harder to do as you're running to lane, right? Maybe you're running towards top. So when you're running towards top, you have less time to adjust. So maybe at first take a second, take your time, adjust, and then do the queue. As you incorporate this queue more and more into your game, you're going to figure out how to do it more efficiently. And just by doing it with more practice, you're just going to be getting it a lot more of the time. Sort of similar to being able to do the trick word. And the trick word is pretty much to stand on the same spot where you were and do the bot trick ward, right? You want to aim somewhere down here. Instead of aiming up towards here, you'll get this ward. But if you aim down, you'll get this ward. It's roughly the same spot for the top lane. You stand on top of the flowers. So now we want to showcase the trick in bot lane. And we had a little bit of difficulty, me and Nathan had a little bit of difficulty figuring out this trick because the way you run towards the lane is you're not hugging the wall and you don't get to hug the wall towards the end. So this created a little bit of a problem. But generally it's going to become the same. So what you're going to do is you're going to get to the edge of the bush, obviously, and you're going to click the middle rock here. And I mess up here a little bit, but yeah, you see the trick end up there. So you kind of want to make sure you're clicking towards the right of the rock a little bit. So here's what happens if I click on the left side of the rock. You see, like, right here's the left side rock, right? It won't go through. But if you click on more towards, you see how this rock is two edges, this left side facing and this right side facing side of the rock? You're going to be wanting to click on the right side face of the rock. So roughly around here. Maybe more closer to the center. Yeah. So you definitely want to have your cursor over the right side of the rock, but near the middle of the rock. So if my cursor's right now on the middle of the rock, you just want to like move it one, unit, and then you're going to be accomplishing this Q a lot of the time. Clearly you want to, if you're coming from river, this is a pretty standard play. You hover the cursor and then you'll get past it, and you can put the box down. Obviously, for the same purposes, this is the amount of distance I can get with level 1 Q, and the amount of distance I can get with level 1 Q with doing the trick is effectively almost as good as level 5 Q. Also, one interesting to note is that similarly in the top lane, there's a lot of situations where this will be awarded, or maybe you're seeing on the ward, but you're still running to the lane, right? So they're starting to back out, and so let's say the lane position is here, right? Your bot lane is here and their bot lane is here. So what's going to end up happening is they're going to see you in the tri-brush ward and they're going to start running away, right? But sometimes they won't have tier 1 boots, and then let's say you just get over here. They're over here, they're over here, they're over here, and you get a perfect Q trick off. Well, if you get a perfect Q trick off, memes. Once you get a perfect Q trick off, maybe you can, even if they see you with the Q trick, you'll be able to catch up to them. So that's really, really interesting. So I want to give credit to where it's due when in this particular video, and I want to say that I discovered this off of Ling Ling's watching his replay. So if you guys don't know who Ling Ling is, it's basically the one challenger Korean SHACO player on the Korean server right now. The last two characters of his name roughly translate to Ling Ling. So that's what I've always called him. He's been playing since season 3, 4 maybe, when I first picked up streaming in season 3 or 4. And I want to give credit to him. I want to give credit to the stream, clearly, for being able to watch me practice. I spent a good 2 hours practicing on stream. I'll give credits to my buddy Nathan and Corey a little bit. Not really, though. Corey kind of sucks. For helping me practice the particular angles I'm taking to get this trick off. And I think I can do it a rough 80 to 90% of the time right now. And it's pretty interesting to incorporate play. I think this roughly increases my early gank. Like, the amount of ganks I can do, or the amount of intricate ganks I can do, by roughly, maybe even 30%. I'm going to win my early game way more often, and this will just translate into so much LP, honestly. It's such a strong trick. So obviously, thank you guys for watching. I hope you were informed a little about this trick. I hope you go and practice this trick. It's really, really interesting. And your level 1 Q is almost as good as a level 5 Q, which is really, really strong. So if you like the content, feel free to tell me below. Feel free to tell me what other types of strategic videos, SHACO, non-SHACO inclusive, LCS, oriented strat videos, tactic videos, what you would like to see from me. And feel free to follow the YouTube or subscribe to the YouTube. Follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/youmatter. Follow me on Twitter at @loyoumatter, and follow me on Facebook, Chinese Jester. Thanks so much, guys.